2025, the 10 most powerful countries in the world. The global military landscape has been reshuffled. The United States Firepower Index is firmly at the top of the list at 0.0744. These military powers not only possess impressive capabilities, shaking weapons and equipment, from nuclear weapons to aircraft carrier battle groups, from quantum radar to hypersonic weapons. They are more shoulder to shoulder, responsible for maintaining regional balance. The major responsibility for global stability. When the United States developed satellites to cover the world's 75. Russian notice fly belt, breaking through the air at Mach 9 supersonic electromagnetic catapult technology of China's Fujian shipshock. The world, we're not just seeing breakthroughs in technology. It is the human desire for security and strength. The latest chapter in the eternal quest. 10th place, Turkey. The Turkish armed forces are composed of the army composition of Navy, Air Force, and military police. The main task is to safeguard national security and maintain the regional strategic balance. As a regional power across Eurasia, Turkey not only controls, connect the Persian Strait of the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea due to its unique geographical location, becoming a key hub for NATO's southern flank. The Turkish army has about 350 I-00 active soldiers, the main body of the country's military power. Its geography covers the highlands, coastal, and mountainous regions. Army missions are therefore diverse, including border defense, counter-terrorism, and peacekeeping operations. In recent years, Turkey actively promotes the localization of military equipment, especially in the field of drone technology, make a major breakthrough, transforming military technology into export advantage, PBS2. Drone, it is a representative work of the Turkish military industry. This model is exported to 23 countries, say evaluating national defense equipment of choice for small and medium-sized countries. In Syria, the conflict in Libya and Nagorno-Karabakh, PBS-2 drone demonstrated the ability to rewrite the rules of war, prove that Turkey is asymmetric. Innovations in military technology, new power. At the same time, Turkey is actively developing the TFX 5th-generation fighter. The flight test phase has been completed. It is expected to further enhance its Air Force combat capabilities. The latest data shows that Turkey has two Tu-31 tanks, 5,142 armored vehicles, 565 military aircraft, and 194 warships. The defense budget is 10.80 billion, as the second largest army in NATO. The Turkish army is not only massive, but also in the context of regional conflicts. Experienced traits. It is worth noting that Turkey is at a critical juncture in its military transformation as global military competition enters China and the United States technology race stage. 6th-generation fighter, quantum communication, and the space station become the key to victory. Turkey, with its drone technology advantage in this wave of asymmetric military rise, occupy an important position. Its cyber attack, hybrid war mode with drone swarms, redefining criteria for evaluating modern military strength. Germany, as a core member of the European Union. The German military is composed of the Bundeswehr, including the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Medical Logistics Support Unit. The overall scale is moderate, but the technical content is extremely high. Its active duty military, about 184. 00 reserve, 30,000. Adopt a voluntary system. Soldiers are of good quality. Professional support for a modern defense system. Equipment technology leads the world to explode. 2A7 V. The main battle tank is the core of the Army's armored force. Top in Europe, this type of tank, equipped with the latest fire control system and protective armor, outstanding battlefield survivability. The air defense system is also introduced into the European Union's 10-ton anti-missile system, forming a multi-layered air defense network. 2024 average annual fee of $66.30 billion US. At the forefront of Europe, it has 266 tanks, 5,040 armored vehicles. The Air Force is equipped with 140 fighter jets, Typhoon fighter, as the main force. Germany has been actively promoting a military revival plan for the past 10 years. Report tank production line, expanded production by 3 times to support Ukraine. Demonstrate its heavy industrial heritage after the Nord Stream incident. Military spending strategy has been significantly adjusted. Tilt towards a new energy defense system. combining its advanced manufacturing advantages, developing green military technology. This deep integration of energy with the military, it not only enhances its own defense capabilities, injecting new momentum into the overall security architecture of the European Union. Germany's military influence is being exported from technology shift to strategic leadership adoption of the NATO framework. Active participation in international peacekeeping operations. Its advanced equipment and training system become a learning benchmark for European allies as the geopolitical environment changes. Germany is reviewing its military role from pacifism to active defense marks. The full return of the European right-of-way its place. South Korea. South Korean Armed Forces, known as the National Army of the Republic of Korea Hanjun, for short by the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps. The Supreme Commander is the President of South Korea. There are about 550 active soldiers, and the Korean Army reservists are close to 500,000. The total number of troops exceeds 1 million, ranked 8th largest active-duty military in the world. Although after the end of the Cold War, the direct military threat facing South Korea has decreased, however, due to the long-standing hostilities with North Korea. South Korea's military remains on high alert. South Korea is one of the few countries that practices compulsory military service. One of the developed countries, all physically eligible 18 to 28-year-olds Korean male must do military service. The service period is 18 months. This rigorous military service system lets South Korea's military personnel be well stocked. The proportion of men serving in the military is the highest in the world. Therefore, South Korea is also known as a military camp state. Since the outbreak of the Korean War in 1950, South Korea has been facing military pressure from the North, although an armistice was signed in 1953. But the two sides did not reach a peace treaty. The situation remains tense. Military standoff on the Korean peninsula. South Korea built a massive artillery system. It has 13 Do-00 guns of various types. This quantity make it become one of the countries with the highest artillery density in the world. Facing the North Korean fire threat, the South Korean Army relies on these repressive firepower build up effective countermeasures. Of particular concern is South Korea's KF-21 fifth-generation fighter, about to enter the mass production stage. This marks South Korea is investing in independent research and development of military technology. Make a major breakthrough. It will further enhance its air combat capabilities. However, South Korea's military system remains highly dependent on U.S. support. According to the U.S.-South Korea Mutual Defense Treaty, the United States has about 28,000 U.S. troops stationed in South Korea. It also has multiple military bases in South Korea. And here's the thing, in terms of wartime command, the South Korean Army still needs to accept the unified command of the U.S. military. This reflects South Korea's high dependence on the U.S. and umbrella companies. The two countries regularly conduct joint military exercises, especially when dealing with the North Korean threat. The U.S.-South Korea military alliance is particularly important. South Korea's strategic position on the Korean peninsula make it an important criterion for military balance in East Asia. On the one hand, its formidable conventional military capabilities and advanced defense systems, it has played a key role in maintaining stability on the peninsula. On the other hand, its close military cooperation with the United States. It also helps the United States maintain a military presence in East Asia, provides an important fulcrum. This dual role makes South Korea safe in the region. It occupies an irreplaceable strategic position in the architecture. In general, the South Korean Army, with its massive size, advanced equipment, and a rigorous organizational system, ranked 8th in the global military power rankings, become an East Asian region military power that has always been indispensable. 7th place, Japan. As a defeated country in World War II, the Japanese army was completely dismantled in 1945, scattered. According to Article 9 of the Constitution of Japan, promulgated in 1947, the use of war to settle international disputes is explicitly prohibited. This constitutional provision provides that Japan will forever give up the right to wage war. They don't have combat troops. However, as the political situation in the lower plains changed, in particular, the rapid rise of China's military might, The ongoing tensions on the Korean Peninsula. Japan begins seeking to break through the limitations of its pacifist constitution. Japanese military spending in recent years. Spending has exceeded a conventional cap of 1.3% of GDP. This change signs a major shift in Japan's defense policy. As a national defense force, the self-defense forces are going through an unprecedented transformation. Accelerate. The most controversial development, it's the renovation plan for the Yunji frigate. This quasi-aircraft carrier will carry F-35B fighter jets, essentially breaking through the limitations of the pacifist constitution. At the same time, Japan is also actively deploying space stations. It specializes in monitoring satellite activities in China and North Korea, and in 202 established an exclusive space combat force. These measures demonstrate Japan is moving away from a purely defensive military force, gradually moving towards a comprehensive military force that projects capabilities. Although the pace of military transformation has accelerated, Japan still faces serious structural constraints. The aging population is causing ice. There was a gap of more than 30%. This became a constraint on Japan's fundamental issues in the development of military power as of now. The total number of Japanese self-defense forces is about 310. There are active duty troops, 240,000, reserve forces, 55,000, and about 15,000 paramilitaries. In terms of armaments, Japan has 518 tanks, 1,500 armored vehicles, 217 fighter jets, and 155 naval vessels of various types. The defense budget reached $50 billion through close military cooperation with the United States, collaboration and technology sharing. Japan has strived to operate with limited human resources, maintain its military influence in the Asia-Pacific region. 6th place. UK. Britain is a traditional European military power, its armed forces. We are facing a critical period of modernization transformation. The British Army consists of the Royal Army, Royal Navy. The Royal Air Force is composed. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is the Supreme Commander. Of the Army, the British Army has been reduced to 72/0. This figure, it reflects the British military strategy, unified ground operations, a major shift towards high-tech military capabilities. It also highlights the current situation of its military structure adjustment. The British Army has a glorious historical tradition. As an important member of NATO, the UK still plays a role in international military affairs, pivotal role, especially in terms of cyber warfare capabilities. The UK has risen to 2nd place in the world. This marks its military power is moving from traditional to modern information warfare capability. Transformation. Although traditional military capabilities continue to shrink, but the UK's investment in high-tech military fields and achievements, ensuring its global reach. The importance of the military structure. The British Navy's Elizabeth and its aircraft carriers, carrying the F-35B carrier-class wing, can be effectively projected into NATO's eastern flank. This strategic deployment capability shows the UK the central role of the European security system. At the same time, the UK is in the field of quantum communication technology. Make a major breakthrough with the United States. Australia jointly established the Oaks Nuclear Submarine Alliance. This cooperation agreement, this would give the UK 8% by 2040. Attack nuclear submarine substantial increase its undersea combat capabilities and strategic deterrence. However, the current state of the British Army is indeed a cause for concern. The number of main tanks is only 148. This figure, and its status as a traditional military power in sharp contrast, this change in the structure of armaments. This reflects a fundamental realignment of British military strategy, that is, from large-scale ground forces to elite technological military power transformation. The British government apparently believes that, in the context of modern warfare, network combat power, nuclear submarine technology, and advanced aircraft carrier strike groups more strategic than traditional tank units. The UK's defense budget makes sure it is in the key, maintaining a competitive advantage in the field of military technology, establishment of the AUKUS alliance. Not only does it show that the UK is nuclear deep, technical expertise also reflects the strategic wisdom of its deep cooperation with its allies. This technological innovation is at the core a new model supported by alliance. Cooperation military development model, it may become medium-sized A classic. Example of a military power in the new era. 5th place, France. The official name of the French Army is Armed Forces of the French Republic. The President of France is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. The French Army is known for its independent military strategy and a well-developed national defense industrial system in history. It was the military hegemon of the European continent. The Napoleonic era swept across Europe shows the powerful combat effectiveness of the French Army. France became a European military tradition, one of the deepest countries despite setbacks in both world wars, but it has always maintained its status as a military power, although today is no longer the European hegemon of the past. But France's military remains at the forefront of the world. Now the French army is considered a well-equipped army. Tactically, advanced modern troops. The number of active duty troops is approximately 200. Reserve force of about 40,000 in addition. There is a huge defense industrial system to support it, although the French army is of medium size. But France has chosen the elitist development route, focusing on building high-tech, a highly mobile, specialized military force. At the same time, France invests heavily in defense technology. The defense budget is maintained at a high level all year round. According to the latest data, France's defense budget reaches 54 billion. Currently, France has a modern military equipment system, which Rafale fighter jets has become a popular product in the international arms market, occupy a 15% share of the global high-end military trade market. In addition, France is also one of the 9 nuclear weapon states today, only nuclear-armed state in the European Union. It has 290 nuclear warheads. Its nuclear power is mainly composed of forward-launched missiles, covering important strategic points in the Atlantic Ocean. France's nuclear weapons policy emphasizes strategic autonomy designed to be maintained by an independent nuclear force, national security, and European stability. However, France also faces challenges. The size of the Navy has been reduced to just 1 ship, aircraft carriers, and counter-terrorism operations in Africa. It consumes more than half of the Special Forces resources. Despite this, French military force, it remains an important pillar of Europe in the field of Huashi and military exports, has a pivotal impact. 4th place, India. The military power of the South Asian continent. Its armed forces are vast and complete. The Indian Army is dominated by the Army, Navy, and Air Force, supplemented by the Coast Guard, Central Paramilitary Forces, and other support institutions, headquartered in New Delhi. The Prime Minister is the Supreme Commander. The Ministry of Defense is responsible for coordinating and directing all military operations. As a foreigner many times in history, invading country India attaches great importance to national defense construction. Although no compulsory conscription was implemented, but its military is the second largest in the world total. Strength 5.10 million men, 1.45 million active duty troops,